And so one thing that really helped me overcome this kind of mental hurdle and this fear that I was feeling was this trick that I'm sharing with you. In this video, I'm proposing one simple trick to help you decide between two options that isn't a pros and cons list. Hey everyone, I'm Alex. I'm a former 9-to-5er turned life coach, and I'm here to help you get on your path to purpose and leave your 9-to-5. So have you ever found yourself struggling to decide between two different options? Do you find that making a pros and cons list of each option doesn't really help and it actually makes you a little bit more confused than when you started? This is exactly how I felt when I was trying to decide between staying at my 9-to-5 engineering job and going out on my own and starting my own business. I was feeling really torn between the security of my 9-to-5 job and my consistent paycheck and the unhappiness and unfulfillment I was feeling every day going to work. And I was really desiring to leave and start my own business and really create some freedom and autonomy in my life. But on the other hand, I also had a lot of fear. And I find that pros and cons lists aren't really that helpful. When I think about the pros of staying at my 9-to-5 job, it's of course the consistency of my paycheck, and it's a pretty secure position. So I felt like financially everything was secure and taken care of, so that's a pro. But there were a lot of cons, and I didn't like the 9-to-5 lifestyle. I wanted to create my own schedule. I didn't love having to commute to the office and a lot of other things. And when I thought about the pros and cons of starting my own business, it's kind of flip-flops everything, right? So my own business felt really unknown and insecure because I wasn't going to have a secure paycheck and everything was up to me to take care of. But I would have a lot of freedom in my life and I would be able to live life on my own terms. So I found that this kind of pros and cons thinking can always skew towards like doomsday scenarios as far as the new thing that you're thinking of doing. So the cons of my staying at my job looked like, kind of the same old monotony of going to the office, not being in control of my life, having to, basically be told what to do, and taking on more responsibility and more stress. Whereas the cons of starting my own business kind of felt like, oh, well, everything could fail, everything could fall apart, you could not make any money, you'll become homeless, you won't be able to pay for any of your bills, like that sort of thing. So I found that the cons, when you're thinking about starting something new, can always feel like the ultimate worst case scenario, whereas you kind of already know the cons of your current situation. So doing this sort of pros and cons exercise can just lead you to wanting to stay comfortable because your mind is always going to make the unknown look a lot worse than your current situation. So when I would do this kind of pros and cons exercise, thinking about my two options, it would always make the new option feel really bad, and I would feel scared and I would be hesitant and just kind of worried about actually pursuing this idea that I had. And so one thing that really helped me overcome this kind of mental hurdle and this fear that I was feeling was this trick that I'm sharing with you. And that is, instead of doing a pros and cons list, think about the best possible outcome of each option. For me, this really got me thinking in a more expansive way rather than a fearful, contractive way. And so it was able to think about what is 5 years down the road the best possible outcome of staying at my current job. And on the other hand, 5 years down the road, what is the potential best possible outcome of leaving my job and starting my own business? And so this is something that you can do as well. If you're deciding between two different things, think about what is the best possible outcome. And so for my example, when I would think about staying at my 9-to-5, the best possible outcome that I could think of was actually pretty bleak. So it looked like, continuing kind of the same day-to-day grind at work with that monotony of going to the office, having that small talk with your coworkers, having to put out fires and kind of having the same conveyor belt of projects coming across your desk every day. And on top of that, then I would also be becoming more senior and moving up in the organization with the expectation to possibly move into more of a project management role or a supervisor type of role where you're now managing people. And all of that just did not sound fun to me. A lot of it just sounded like a lot more responsibility, a lot more meetings, and a lot more stress, as well as possibly the expectation that I, start working a little bit more into my own time after work, such as looking at emails on evenings and weekends. And so for me, when I looked ahead at what my future could look like in 5 years at my job, I was not excited. I thought, this is not what I want. This is comfortable, this is secure, and I know exactly where this is going, but this is not what I want. And then on the other hand, when I would think about starting my own business and becoming an entrepreneur, I got very excited because I could see myself setting my own hours and working from wherever I wanted. And I also could imagine having an unlimited earning potential where I could work as hard or as little as I wanted, and I could harness the power of the internet to make a lot more money rather than taking on more responsibility to increase my pay incrementally at a 9-to-5 job. And so for me, when I did this exercise, when I thought about my best case scenario 5 years from now, staying at my job, I didn't feel excited. I didn't feel lit up. I actually felt dread, and I just felt like, oh, this feels so heavy. Whereas when I thought about the kind of wide open, expansive potential of starting my own business, I got really excited. And even though I have no idea how it's going to go, I just knew that this path had so much more freedom and potential in all areas of my life than the current path that I was on. And I felt excited, I felt uplifted, I felt eager to actually work towards something and make something of my own. So I encourage you to try this little exercise and consider for yourself how each best case scenario feels for you. Does it feel expansive and exciting, or does it feel kind of boring or stagnant or just something that doesn't really light you up? This is a great sign to know which path you may want to take. When you're excited and motivated by something, you're in control of the momentum and the direction of your life. So if you kind of feel like you've been on the conveyor belt in life right now and you've kind of been swept along by the momentum of life and society and expectations on you, and you've kind of ended up in a place that you're not sure if you're happy there, then try this exercise. Because if you're on a path that you're excited about and you're being pulled forward by your own inner drive and your own desire and motivation, this is going to be a path that's really fulfilling and satisfying down the road. Whereas if you're on a path that you feel like life is dragging you along, like if you're going to work every day because you know you have to, not because you want to, that's not going to be a fulfilling life, and that doesn't feel good living that way long term. So this is kind of a quick video, and I hope that helped you out. I hope that this exercise helps you make some better decisions in your life, and definitely let me know down in the comments if you use this exercise and how it goes. And make sure to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more tips like this. And I'll see you in next week's video.